There once was this American who loved the Emerald Isle, and every time he thought of it, it always made him smile. He visited a few times, in a cottage he would stay, but he'd always longed to visit to celebrate Paddy's Day. On arrival at the airport, he waited for his bags. He jumped into a taxi which he'd waited round to flag, and having told the driver where he would like to go, he was off on his vacation to take things nice and slow. The cracking town was mightier than it had ever been, and the American supped a couple of pints of grain. After dropping off his luggage, he thought he'd have a pint. He loved the local pub for the crack y'all of his kind, and when the landlord saw him, he greeted him with glee. And he said to the American, "Come listen here to me. At being Paddy's weekend, there's a brew that you should try. It tastes just like the black stuff that you've had here by and by. Just for this one weekend, as we do once a year. I'd like for you to try for me a pint of our green beer." The cracking town was mightier than it had ever been, and the American supped a couple of pints of green. He agreed at once to try it, and he thought it very quaint. As he watched the barman pour it, it reminded him of paint. But he paid no heed to his slight fear, and he took it with a grin. Then he took a mighty drink of it, and settled himself in. He found the taste was pleasing, and he ordered himself another, then a third and a fourth, and drank them one after the other. But as he tried to order another pint once more, as he gestured to the barman, he fell straight into the floor. The cracking town was mightier than it had ever been, and the American supped a couple of pints of green. The next thing that he knew was waking up upon the floor. Now every single part of him was battered, bruised and sore. He saw the barman looking down on him with a beam. He said they make it a bit stronger when they're brewing a pint of green. After being helped up off the floor and back into his feet, he gently got his bearings and he sat back on his seat. He gestured to the barman and he said, "I've had enough. When I come back here tomorrow, I'll be drinking the black stuff." The crack in town was mightier than it had ever been, when the American supped a couple of pints of green. The crack in town was mightier than it had ever been, when the American supped a couple of pints of green. When the American supped a couple of pints of green. When the American supped a couple of pints of green.